Hello, I'm Mrs. Charity. Welcome to the Glorious Heritage Overview of Catholic Church History. Discover the amazing story of the Church together as a family as you color and paste your way through the timeline and printables, which you can find on our website. And now let's move into our topic for today.
Hello, I'm Mr. Charity, and welcome to the Glorious Heritage Catholic History video series. Today's topic is number 40, the Anchorites. If you look on your timeline and summary question sheets, you'll notice that we are in the orange time period, which we have named Establishment. If you don't have a timeline or summary question sheets, you can find them on our website. Do you have brothers and sisters in your house? If so, I bet your house gets a lot of noise and busy sometimes. When I was a child, sometimes I'd like to go out by myself so I could think and pray. I would go for a walk or find a spot in my backyard to hide where no one could find me. Then I knew that I could take my time and think without being interrupted or without anybody watching me. Have you ever done anything like this before? Many early Christians had the same idea as you did, except they were much more serious about it. They were called the Anchorites. The word Anchorite means to leave or to withdraw from the world, and that is exactly what they did. The early Anchorites lived in the Roman Empire in the late 200s, 300s, and 400s. The Roman Empire was a busy place with a lot of different kinds of people, a lot of luxuries to enjoy, a lot of scandals, affairs, excitement, and even a lot of conflict and turmoil too. All these things could be dangerous distractions for an early Christian. The world is always trying to compete for our attention and for our hearts, minds, and souls, making it much harder to contemplate the things of God and to live a life of virtue. The world tends towards vice and corruption. This is why many early Christians decided to withdraw from the world and become Anchorites. The most well-known Anchorite, and one of the very first, was St. Anthony of the Desert. He lived in the Roman province of Egypt in the 200s and 300s AD, just around the time that Constantine was legalizing Christianity. St. Anthony had inherited a large fortune from his parents. When he was about 20 years old, he heard the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 29, which said, "If thou wilt be perfect, go sell what thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. Come, follow me." And this is exactly what St. Anthony did. He went to give all his money to the poor, then he walked out into the Egyptian desert and found a place to sit and be alone with God. He ate and drank very little and was tempted horribly by demons. Sometimes the demons even beat him up, trying to get him to stop all his fasting and praying. But it didn't work. His life of holiness inspired many others to go out into the Egyptian desert and live as he did. The idea of leaving the world in order to become closer to God is called monasticism. Later on in this video series, we'll talk about another great saint who took St. Anthony's idea of being an Anchorite and changed it just a little bit, allowing the monks to live in a community, instead of living all by themselves like the Anchorites did. The saint who started communal monasticism was Saint Benedict, and we're going to talk about him in the next video. Well, anyway, going back to the early Anchorites, sometimes they didn't go out into the desert, but decided to live closer to people. Maybe you have heard of Saint Simon Stylite. He lived in the 400s in modern-day Syria. He heard the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 16, which said, "If any man will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me." Just like St. Anthony, St. Simon also left the world. He decided to climb up on top of an old, tall pillar so that he could be up and away from all the people below. He lived on that pillar for 37 years without ever coming down, not even once. He prayed and fasted, and he also suffered the heat of the sun, and the wind and the rain fell upon him without a roof over his head. Perhaps one more famous Anchorite that you might have heard of is St. Mary of Egypt, or St. Paul the Hermit, or St. Hilarion. They all lived as hermits during the early years of Christian church history. Mrs. Charity is not going to talk to you tonight because she's taking care of our sick kids. But let me read you a story. These writings are taken from the pages of the book about St. Anthony written by St. Athanasius. They've been adapted so they have more of a modern language and are easier to understand. We should know this. The demons were not made evil initially by God, but the demons chose to disobey God and fell from grace. They left heaven and now they live on earth. They trick the Greeks with their tricks, and they hate us Christians. They try to stop us from going to heaven, where they came from. The demons, if they see us Christians, and monks especially, working hard and growing in virtue, they attack us first with bad thoughts. But we don't have to be afraid of them, because with prayer and fasting and trusting in the Lord, they lose right away. But the demons don't give up then, they come back with more tricks. When they can't make us sin with bad thoughts, they try to scare us with different shapes. They take the form of women or animals, or creeping bugs or giant monsters, or sometimes troops of soldiers. But we don't have to be afraid of their fake shapes either. They are nothing and they go away fast, especially if we have faith in the Lord and make the sign of the cross. So we should only fear God and hate the demons, and not be scared of them. But the more they do these things, the more we should fight them with our prayers and sufferings and fastings, because living well and believing in God is the best weapon. They are afraid of fastings, they are afraid of all-night vigils, and of prayers, and of meekness, and of gentleness, and not caring about money or worldliness, or being humble, or loving the poor, or almsgiving, or not being angry, and most of all, they hate piety of Christ. That's why they do everything to stop us from stepping on them and treading on them, because they know the power of God that was given to us when our Lord told us, "Behold, I have given you the power to tread upon serpents and scorpions, and upon all the powers of the enemy." So St. Anthony of the Desert was tempted constantly by demons, but he writes that he was not afraid of them because of the power of Christ. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for being with us, and make sure to join us in our next video about St. Benedict. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today. Visit our website, www.gloriousheritagecartoons.com, where you can find more educational supplements, cartoons, books, and printables. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to get notified of our latest updates and videos. And if you like our work and want to support us, you can make a donation on our website or on Patreon. We really appreciate your generosity and kindness. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.